Yesterday was August 8th, 2017, the day that I turned 26 years old. Now, last year when I turned 25, I made this whole vlog called the Quarter-Centennial Progress Report, where I was talking about this idea that when you turn 25, not like the day of, but like when you're in this age range, your brain finishes developing, and therefore, like, whatever habits and beliefs you have at that age tend to be the ones that you'll end up holding on to for the rest of your life. Your lifestyle gets pretty well defined around this time. At least that's what I've been told. I don't really know how true it is, but, you know, it sounds cool. It's interesting to think about. So, I said at the time that in 1 year I would make another progress report and talk about how things have gone in the year since the last one. So, yeah, I had a couple of big concerns that I wanted to fix going forward. One big concern I had was that I didn't get out enough, that I was never willing to go very far from home. I was never willing to take like a 30-minute drive to get somewhere. I was not willing to like explore enough. I was kind of just like staying within the area around my house. That, I can safely say, I've completely broken that bad habit. I drive all the time now, all over the place. In fact, I drove across the country for 2 months just recently. So I'd say that's pretty well broken out of. Basically, I got out of that just because I realized, there's places that are worth driving to. Like, you know, if it's a 30-minute drive to go somewhere that is 30 minutes away, and it's a place I want to go, I gotta drive and go there, you know? I started finding more things that are out there in the world, realizing that, you know, the pool of things near me that I was losing interest in, if you just go a little farther, you'll find something cool. You know, I started to find that in Virginia Beach in the time before I left, but, like, honestly, Virginia Beach doesn't have that much interesting shit in it. Now that I live in Rochester, I've been finding all kinds of cool shit. Like, for instance, we just discovered that there's a literal anime store here. Like, it's called, like, it just has a sign that says anime on it. And it's like a good 25-minute drive. Totally worth it. They have the best manga selection I've ever seen in a store. So, you know, I've got a bunch of new Manga Mondays manga because of that, and I'm definitely willing to drive there on the regular just to go to that store. And through taking a drive to Atlanta back in April, I came to learn, or was it March? Yeah, back in March, I learned that even super long drives aren't that bad. Like, it was a 9-hour drive, and I'd never taken a drive over 2 hours before. I was really scared about it. I wasn't supposed to be the driver for that trip, but once I did it, I was like, oh, that's not, like, any drive over an hour is, like, relatively similar difficulty. You just gotta zone out and keep fucking driving. I mean, the hardest part is getting tired. The drive I took from Virginia Beach to Rochester when I moved was 12 and a half hours because I was pulling a U-Haul trailer and I couldn't go above 55 miles an hour. So, that was intense. But anything short of that isn't that bad, you know. So, yeah. Fully broken that habit, and I'm very glad I have. I've been getting to discover all kinds of new fun shit just by being willing to, you know, drive farther out of the house. My other concerns were that I wasn't going to develop very good health and fitness habits. I was concerned that I eat poorly, that I never work out, I can't get into a good workout routine. That one I have not fixed. I had ideas about how it was going to be fixed at the time. So the last vlog that in this series was recorded right before Ben and Devu moved in with me in the old house. And the three of us had all these plans about how we were going to get into a health and fitness routine. And it just kind of didn't pan out. Partly because when Ben first moved in, he had brought this squat rack with him that we were planning to use. Like, we were going to work out with the squat rack, and that was going to be how we got fit. But it took a month for us to fully set it up because he was missing some of the parts. He had to have them shipped in, or, like, there was just stuff that was missing from it. So it took us like a month and a half for something to build the whole fucking thing. And then me and Ben did start working out for a while. We were doing strength training, and it was pretty fun. We didn't make like a shitload of gains because the problem with strength training and why I'm not doing it anymore, like, Ben's way into it, I'm not very much so, because it really just trains you to be able to do more of that exercise. Like, being able to squat 250 pounds mostly sets you up for later being able to squat 260. But, like, on a day-to-day level, your body is just so fucking wrecked from doing the strength training that, like, you know, it doesn't have a lot of real world benefit. The funniest part about it is, in that month leading up to the strength training, we had a pull-up bar in the house, and we were all doing pull-ups. That was like the one workout everybody was doing. And I got up to being able to do like 7 pull-ups. Once we started weight training, and I was doing like, bench press and overhead press and shit, I lost the ability to do pull-ups because my body would be so sore from doing the strength training that I physically could not do a pull-up like at any time. So, I'm more into functional strength. Like, the reason I want to be strong is for functional reasons. I want to be able to, like, run long distances. I want to be able to jump over things, climb things, So I'd rather do, like, calisthenic training or just, like, more cardio stuff, shit that keeps your body healthy more so than trying to look aesthetically strong. So, in any case, we were doing that workout for a little while. Devu was supposed to join us, but because he had ankle problems that persisted the whole time he was living at our house, he was never able to join us in the gym. And our initial eating plan was that we were going to make crock pots all the time, because you can make really healthy crock pots. And we were making all these crock pots with chicken and shit, and basically doing crock pots ended up being a little bit more of a pain in the ass than it was worth, especially because we all had weird sleep schedules, and a crock pot takes 8 hours to cook, and you've got a window of about 4 hours that you can eat it in before it starts turning into a disgusting sludge if it's left in the cooker. So we had a lot of disgusting sludges that materialized, and then the crock pot's not usable for a little while until somebody cleans it, so it was a pain. And then we all got really into deep frying, and that was the end of the health kick. Like, because it became less about eating healthy and more about what's easy to cook for cheap, particularly for Ben. So, like, yeah, we kind of got out of the healthy eating, and I started eating out constantly. Like, I legit, for most of the time that Ben and Devu lived there, I did not even grocery shop for myself. Like, I would buy myself a couple things, like some cereal, so that I had something to eat when I'm drunk. And, like, otherwise I ate out all the time. So I didn't really, like, gain any weight, amazingly, and at the time of the vlog, I was like, I had quit smoking, and I had I was cutting my drinking down to once a week. Both of those things went out the window. I smoke more than ever now. I'm fully addicted to smoking, and I'm back to drinking soda, because I don't live next to a Wawa anymore, so no more of that delicious diet green tea. And I've been drinking a lot more. And a lot of that's because of the traveling I did. Because while I was traveling, everybody I stayed with, we would drink a lot. I was drunk, like I was drinking probably 5 or 6 nights a week for 2 months, like, not heavily, but I was drinking pretty consistently for the whole time I was traveling. And I started smoking a lot more, partly because of the drinking, partly because of, especially when I was in Portland and I was getting high every day, and I would smoke a whole lot while I was high, like a lot of cigarettes. So, yeah, I ended up smoking way more. So those elements have not been in a good state. And yeah, so I've been smoking, drinking, and drinking soda a lot more, but I still haven't been gaining weight. I have been, like, more physically active in general. Like, part of the concern before, like, why I needed a workout routine is because I was so sedentary that, like, I literally just sat in a chair all day, every day, and never left the house except to go eat. These days, I get up a lot more for other reasons, I do a lot more physical activity, so I don't feel as, like, oh my god, I need to work out, but I'm still trying to get into it, My girlfriend works out, so she's trying to get me in the gym. That's good. Like, at least we're doing something, We've probably been working out every 3 or 4 days because we keep forgetting or being too busy, but, yeah, so it's not so bad. So, yeah, the physical fitness hasn't worked out as well as I hoped, but still working on it. Getting out has worked out much better. The work ethic, which I was happy with back in 2015, 2016 rather, has gotten even better. I became the human content machine. All I do is work on shit now. The main channel content has kind of been like in dire straits, but that's mostly because of all the travel I did. Like, it was really hard to work on main channel content while I was on the road, and I made fuckloads of non-main channel content when I was on the road, because I was doing lots of collaborative projects with everybody I stayed with, a lot of which is not even out. You know, I filmed like dozens of hours of shit with Endless Jest that is not going to be out for probably a year, if ever. Like, I don't know. He might eventually just give it all to me and leave the fucking internet or something. But like, yeah, there's tons and tons of shit that's not even out yet, and the main channel videos, I've been slowly like working my way back into the swing of doing them. You know, there's a big one just came out that everybody seems to like, and another big one's on the way. So yeah, I'd say my work ethic is still pretty incredible. I mean, right now, I'm in a state where, like, I've been having, like, way less time that I can work and still been getting just as much done. So, like, I've just been concentrating a lot harder in the time that I do have. So that's been great. And generally, life is amazing right now, so I'm pretty satisfied with the way things are. Like, if whatever I am right now is how I'm going to, like, solidify, I'm totally okay with that. Because right now, I'm in a really great place lifestyle-wise. I'm in a great relationship, in a great house, in a pretty good town. Like, Rochester is cooler than Virginia Beach in a lot of ways. The people who live here don't get it. They're all like, why would you leave Virginia Beach? And I'm like, you think it sounds cool because it's a beach town, but all a beach town means is shitloads of tourists and, like, overpriced garbage, you know? Like, the cost of living's just as high here because it's New York, but, like, the beach itself sucks in Virginia Beach. Like, that's the least cool place in the city is the beach. So it's, you know, and nothing, everything else is just a big suburb. Like, now I live in also a big suburb, but there's a city next to it, and there's lots of interesting things there. And I mean, I've been finding new and exciting places like every single day. So yeah, I'd say everything's going fucking swimmingly. I'm really happy if this is the 25-year-old experience. I still want to work out more, still want to get more active, still want to be stronger physically. Like, that's the main thing. I just want to not feel weak, which I haven't really felt weak lately. Again, I've been doing more physical activity, so it hasn't been that big of a deal, but, you know, I'd like to lose some weight. I could stand to lose a good 30 pounds. I'm like 182 or something, and 155 is like comfortable, normal weight for someone my height. So, yeah. That'd be nice. And that's it. That's the progress report. Things are going great. I am happy for once. And that's another thing. Like, that period in that video, I talk about how in 2015 I had been consistently pretty in a good mood. 2016 did not go so well. Like, the start of the year was when I really started to get sick of my lifestyle. That's what inspired the constant vlogging, was like a need for a new thing in my life to, you know, to give me something extra to do. But the vlogging, you know, is still work, and it still ended up being like I'm just working constantly. And 2017 got off to a really rocky start. The early months kind of really sucked, and I was not feeling it. And pretty much up until I left the house, I was in not the best place. But after leaving my house and going on that tour of the country, those 2 months were incredible. The month I've spent after that has been incredible. So yeah, this has been the best time I've ever had. So yeah, very happy going forward. And I don't know if I'm going to do another progress report next year because it's not as, like, important. You know, the 25 is a big one, but maybe I will. If anything significant changes by next year about the way I'm living, I'll report back to you. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.